So we always watch the patch notes on stream, and so we always get all of the patch note stuff. But now, bonus balance, because of the way that they changed the schedule, bonus balance is no longer covered in the actual patch notes. So the patch notes videos will not have the bonus balance in it because of the way that they've shifted it around. And so the patch is only 1 week after the patch notes, but because the bonus balance is before that, all they're doing is releasing a text version of the bonus balance. And so if there's ever a significant bonus balance update, I will go over them here so that way you actually know what is happening. If there's like 3 changes, I probably won't cover it and go over it because like it won't have that big of an impact on the game. But this is maybe the biggest bonus balance ever. So basically, long story short, there's a lot of text throughout all of this. You know, you can go ahead and read through it if you want to. But long story short, it's talking about like what gods' win rates went up and what went down. All the changes that we saw from the patch, like Nuwa is winning more, Bastet is winning less, the effects of DR changes on the meta, and who that's helping and who that's hurting. Talking about in general how the god damage has gone down. They saw give or take about 2% decrease in overall damage numbers, which they're not necessarily super happy with. And in non-conquest game modes, the damage actually didn't really go down at all. So they're like, well, we need to make more heavy-handed changes in regards to damage because all of our changes didn't really move the bar a ton. So then they're commenting on how they're like, hey, so we want to keep producing damage in the game. Like, we took a swing at it. It wasn't enough. So we're going to keep taking swings at it with this 9.4 bonus balance patch, which you will see they are once again trying to reduce overall damage and snowball and stuff. And then they talk about 9.5 and how in 9.5 it's going to be their first real conquest changes for the year. There is going to be an aesthetic change to the map, I think, as well as some in-game conquest specifically targeted changes. And they specifically mention one thing here, which is that they are going to deliver some sort of big change in 9.5. They say that they don't want to oversell it, but it should be significantly more intense compared to the 9.4 patch, and they will try to have it affect all gods equally as much as possible. So 9.5 should be a fairly massive patch, probably the biggest patch of the year if I had to guess in terms of the future and direction of Conquest, continuing off of these changes from 9.4 and the 9.4 bonus balance, which is what we are currently looking at. So that's basically what all of that giant wall of text means, because I'm not going to read it verbatim. That is your summary. If you want to read it verbatim, you can, I'm sure, pause it and just go on, read it all yourself. As far as items, they are going to continue to nerf items. Instead of nerfing a lot of tier 3 items like they did in 9.4, you're going to see a lot of starter item nerfs and a lot of tier 2 item nerfs, which I think is actually going to help a lot in terms of the scaling and snowball, because it's going to be delaying those power spikes at every single step of the way. Right off the bat, Death Toll, remove 5 power. Of course, they're going to remove 5 power from it. They gave it 5 bonus power, and then it was the only starter item that anybody bought. Like, anywhere. It was like, hey, I'm a mid lane Merlin. What should I buy? I don't know, man. Just buy a Death Toll. Like, Death Toll is pretty good. They're nerfing 5 attack damage off of Gilded Arrow. They're taking 5 power off of Leather Cowl, but they're giving it 2% attack speed. So trying to separate Leather Cowl and Death Toll from each other a little bit more. Then Bluestone is receiving 5 power off of the passive bonus damage. So that is the actual application of that damage on Bluestone. Vampiric Shroud getting a health reduction from 100 to 75. Sand of Time, 5 reduced power. Conduit Gem, 5 reduced power. Eye of the Jungle, only magical power reduction. 5 magical power reduction, but then 3% attack speed reduction, which will affect physicals as well. And that is all the starter item changes. So you can see pretty much 5 power taken off the board of all of the popular meta starter items. Just boom. Take 5 power off of the starting portion of the game. Less damage at the starting portion of the game. Less chance for a kill. Less chance for a kill. Less chance to miss 2 waves in the early game. Less chance for snowballing and AFKing for 20 minutes. Good changes. Then we start to see some of these tier 2 changes. This one is huge. It's a massive change. 5 power off of the tier 1 mace. The tier 1 mace has been the go-to as the first item in the jungle because you get your starter item and you get tier 1 mace, your hog, and your potions. That reducing by 5 power really opens up jungle builds. Really opens up jungle builds. Heavy Mace, remove the flat pen. Massive. Warrior's Bane tier 2, remove the pen. Magic Focus, 5 less power. Tier 2 Enchanted Spear, no more pen. Tier 2 Ob Shard, no more pen. You can see the kind of theme here. Taking penetration off of the tier 2s, taking some power off of these tier 1s, stopping the early game power spike. Emerald Ring, common tier 1 item bought with the starter item for magical, for mages with other auto attack, 5 less power. Katana, 3 less power. Shuriken, 3 less power. Round Shield, 3 less power. And Enchanted Buckler, 3 less power. So all of those tier 1 kind of items that you buy with your starter item reduced pretty much across the board. Plus the starter items reduced, 2 times reductions, way less damage at the start of the game. Way less damage at the start of the game just through these bonus balance changes. Then you've got continued nerfs. Berserker Shield, gotta be nerfed because everybody was buying it in every role. 5 less power, 10 less physical protections. Good change. Shogun's Kusari, 10 less magical protections. This build right here, pretty much was being bought in everybody. Berserker Shield, Shoguns, into CAD Shield. These 3 items you could fit onto any auto attack warrior and just kind of call it a day. CAD Shield, 5 less physical and magical protections. Those hybrid items were just doing stupidly well right now. Shout outs to Erlanger Banger in particular, who could really just abuse that build into oblivion. As far as God changes, the Jade Emperor is going to get a hefty buff. Very hefty. His 1, Flames of the Phoenix, increase the damage from 15 to 55 to 25 to 65, so 10 damage at each mark, plus 10% magical scaling, which is a big deal. Tao Cultivation now deals 100% damage regardless of how quickly it is fired. Huge buff. Massive buffs to his 1 and his 2, which is his standard combo. Should be easier to land, should be quicker to get off, do more damage, and then his ultimate, 10 seconds reduce off the cooldown, increase scaling, 50 to 60% of the push damage, another 5% scaling on the explosion damage, which means a total scaling of 15% increase and a 10-second cooldown reduction. Huge buffs for the Jade Emperor, will significantly change the way that he plays. He still has a little bit of weird, to me, like pre-post fire stuff where he can feel a little bit shaky, but overall good changes for the Jade Emperor. A lot more damage in his kit. Shiva, believe it or not, getting nerfed. They removed the 20% damage mitigation he gets while channeling his ultimate, which means that while he's in this CC immune, full movement speed, damaging healing ability, you will actually be able to try to hit him, even though he's hard to hit, but you'll be able to try to and do some legit damage to him, which is awesome. Cleo getting her lifesteal removed when she's inside the wall. She still gets it when she exits the wall, but she no longer gets it when she is inside of the wall. So a little nerf there for Cleo. Cthulhu gonna get nerfed as well, decreasing the max health from his ultimate 25% to 20%, and decreasing the ability 1 damage in his ultimate, which is just his spam attack, from 100 to 300 to 100 to 260. So not actually affecting the early game, but is affecting the late game by 40 damage per one, which is a big deal. Daji, small nerf here, gonna get her ultimate increased by 10 seconds. If you haven't played against Seraph's Daji, then I envy you, but that god in the right hands is actually busted. Hebo also going to get a nerf, reducing his passive. His passive gives you stacks of percentage buffs for magical power, bringing it from 5% to 4% because it scales 3 times, in total of 15% to 12%, and then reducing his ultimate damage from 370 to 690 to 350 to 670, only 20 base damage, not that big of a deal, and then reducing the magical power scaling by 10%. Hebo will still be fine on his ultimate. It'll still basically one-shot all squishies, so it won't be that big of a deal. Maybe a little bit easier for like tanks to not get one-shot by Hebo now. And then the rest is just various bug fixes, guys, but that is going to be your bonus balance for 9.4. So very hefty patch. Once again, reducing damage across the board. This one really focused on reducing the early game damage through tier 1s, tier 2s, and starter items, which I do think will have a actually larger impact on the game than reducing those tier 3 items, because you're getting right to the issue. Snowball starts right at the start of the game, so if you reduce the chance of everybody dying at the start of the game, you reduce the chance of somebody snowballing from that very first wave. Which should be an overall good change for the game. And because this is a bonus balance that should go live on May 3rd, I believe. I do believe May 3rd is when this patch should actually go live. The more you know. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a twitching day, y'all.